So I've been using the FX3 as my primary camera for run and gun solo shoots, studio shoots, and also for my own YouTube videos. And I've adjusted my own custom buttons to be able to reach for the settings that I need very quickly when I'm on the go. So it's so convenient that I don't even need to open my function menu at all since. And I'll share everything that you need to know about my custom buttons on the camera, which is everything that you want to reach for when you're shooting. Alright, we're not going to go through the whole menu, so I'll just go into the custom button settings, which is in our setup tab, and then I'll go into operation customize and then custom key for video. And this is our first page. So number 1, I set it to focus magnifier. Number 2, monitor brightness, and number 3, which is the middle button, I have not set it to anything. Number 4, I have it at zebra, which is what it's labeled as, and also number 5, peaking, and number 6, which is the down button, I have it set at audio record level. So for the top setting, I have it set number 1 at record frame rate, number 2 at white balance, which is what it is, number 3, it's a select LUT, number 4 is focus standard, and number 5 is movie shooting, which is the big red record button. So for the front button, I also have it set at movie shooting so that I can toggle record when I'm facing the camera. And on the lens, I have it set at focus mode so that I can toggle within autofocus and manual focus if the lens I'm using doesn't have the manual switch. And now for the dials, the front dial I have it at shutter, and the back dial, which is number 2, I have it at aperture, and then the third dial I have it as ISO. Alright, so let's have a look at how it would work in a real world situation. So this button will act as my focus magnifier if I want to do a manual focus pull, and then the top button is to toggle the display, and the right button is for my peaking if I want to see the red lines where the focus is peaking. And zebra, I don't really use it, but I have it here since it's labeled. And I love this down button for the audio so that I can very quickly adjust my audio on the go. And for the custom button number 4, I have it set at monitor brightness so that I can access the sunny weather when I am shooting. Right now I have it set at -2, but this is for the purpose of this tutorial. I usually have it set at 0. So on the top, I have my frame rate so that I can easily switch between 25, 50 and 100 frames per second. And number 2, I have it as white balance like it is labeled. And then number 3, the ISO, I have my ISO toggle, so I set this as a select LUT so that I can input my own LUT in the future when I have uploaded the LUT. So my ISO is adjusted by this view. And for the front view, I have it at shutter, so that I can do like slow motion, slow frame rates and stuff. And then for the back view, I have it set at aperture. So for the custom button on the lens, like I said, I have it set at autofocus and manual focus. So if the lens doesn't have that toggle, then I can use that. And custom button number 6, I have it set at record like it is labeled. So I really love how accessible all the buttons are, and I can just go in and change the setting very quickly without having to go into the function menu, which is an extra click or 2. And the FX3 also gives a lot of flexibility, like all the extra buttons, and without the exposure compensation dial, you really get a lot of additional buttons customized for filmmaking on the FX3. And before I forget, I also set the record button like it is, so if I press it, it goes red and does record. I also toggled my shutter button to record as well, so some of you don't have this toggle as record, but I usually just shoot video on this camera, so I toggle both buttons to be record. And that's about it. So that's all my custom button settings on the FX3. So as you can see, there are quite a bit of redundant dials and buttons on the camera, like the shutter, aperture and the ISO. So my setting replaces those with other useful stuff that you can access with more functions from all the buttons. So I hope this was useful to you. If it was, let me know with the thumbs, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.